go over and look at some of the secondary simple machines, the wedge, the wheel and axle, and the screw today. And so as we're looking at these things, I'm going to share my screen with you. And let's look at the only one that as a class, you guys struggled with. You were supposed to drag and drop each one of these examples. You were supposed to drag and drop each one of these examples to the example simple machine that you saw there. Can someone turn their mic on and let me know, what is A an example of?
Inclined plane.
Yep, that's an inclined plane. B?
A wedge.
Not a wedge. A lever. Remember, a crowbar is an example of a second class lever, I believe. Someone correct me in your notes if I just said it wrong. Here on C, we were looking at the wheels on this scale.
Wheel and axle.
Wheel and axle. And D?
Screw.
Screw. E?
Wheel and axle.
Wheel and axle. And F?
Pulley.
This is a screw as well. So you'll notice, you can go ahead and turn your mics off. You'll notice you could have used some of your answer choices more than once. Okay? I heard one of you say, oh man, yeah, you could have used some of those more than once. Okay? So let's talk a little bit and let's add to our notes. Bill did a great job of explaining each of these simple machines, but I'm going to try my hardest to do some explaining with them. You may want to have some colored pencils or crayons with you today as we go over each one of these. You may feel free to draw these pictures if you'd like to. I can't promise you that I'm going to stay on this slide long enough for you to draw each of these to the best of your ability. And so you may want to draw these as they are, or if you want to draw better pictures of them, you can go back and watch this recorded lesson and pause the video here so you can get what you need. It's important for us to know that this is a wedge. Okay, a wedge is very similar to what other kind of simple machine, y'all?
Inclined plane.
Yeah, doesn't that look a lot like an inclined plane? We want to make sure we understand, and that's why it's called a secondary simple machine, because it looks like it takes its shape and function from one of the primary simple machines, the inclined plane. So the wedge is normally has a sharp edge and that sharp edge plus effort force causes an object to move. So if I were to put a wedge between a tree stump, okay, or a tree trunk, and I'm about to cut that tree, split it in half, if I put that wedge there, and then I put some force behind that wedge, it would cause the tree trunk or the tree to split, okay? And so that wedge helps to make work easier because it helps to move an object with some effort force behind it. The screw, it's really interesting, and if we were face to face, we would do this really cool way of me showing you this, the fun things about the screw. The screw is really an inclined plane wrapped around itself. I would tell you to go look at a video or find a GIF on it where you take an inclined plane and you wrap the inclined plane around itself and you get a screw, okay? And so we see that a screw can sometimes have that sharp edge at the bottom, but it doesn't have to. That screw works the same way a wedge does. These are called threads, those little wraps around that screw. They're called threads. I believe that's how it's spelled. Want to make sure I'm telling you right. Nope, needs an A. I left a little space there, so that'll work. There we go. Okay. And then we have our wheel and axle. And I want to use a color different than purple so that we can label this picture. Make sure we know that screw plus effort force. When we wedge that screw in somewhere, it causes that object to move. Okay. Then we have a wheel and axle here. Okay. The bar here, this is called the axle. And the wheel, of course, is here. I'll give you some time to finish drawing those pictures. Your screen may go black for a second. I'm going to let some kids in who came to class late. Give me 1 second, please. Your screen's going to go black for a second. Just be patient. It'll come back. Welcome everyone who got to class late today. We have started our notes already. I am recording this lesson, so if you miss anything, you can go back and watch it. I'll put it up as soon as class ends today. Okay, so back to where we were. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. If not, give it a second. It should come up in a second. And because this class is a review class today, Katie, you cannot have control of my screen. Because this class is a review class today, this class will not last long. After you're finished with writing down these notes on these secondary simple machines, we're going to go over the test and what you can expect from it tomorrow. Remember, if I get rid of this screen too fast, this lesson is being recorded. Go back and watch the recorded lesson. Fast forward through to the very end to where you can see this slide and pause it. So let's talk a little bit about your Simple Machine CFA test tomorrow. Okay, so that test is going to open up at 7:30. It's important for you to know, and I know I've heard this from some parents who are a little bit upset. For students who are face-to-face currently are going to school 5 days a week. You are in school 5 days a week. You have been forever. There are no live sessions on Fridays, but school is still happening. You still have assignments you need to complete. I don't know about you, but for my science and math students, I assign all of my tests and quizzes most of the time on a Friday. So you usually have work you need to be working on, and you have office hours with your teachers. Friday is not the day for you to sleep in and not get anything done, okay? So let's talk about the assignments you've had to do this week and the CFA that you'll be taking tomorrow. Kaden, unmute yourself and tell me what you need.